All right, it's Wildcard weekend, and here's your first preview show from the Illegal Use of Hand Since the Face YouTube channel. First game of the weekend is today at 4:30 p.m. So hopefully you can see this in time beforehand. We've got the Raiders and the Bengals. So, with that being said, Jake, what are your thoughts leading into this game?
My main thought when I think of this game is the Bengals are hot right now. They are hot right now, and I would not want to be the team that plays them. And the Raiders have the unfortunate opportunity to be the team that plays the Bengals. And then the second thing that comes into my head is the Bengals are hot, but the Bengals are also cursed. They haven't won a playoff game in like 30 years, so there's that too. The Raiders though they're playing with heart and heart versus hotness. So I don't know. This is the heartburn game of the week.
Yeah, well, I have to say, everything that happened with the Raiders this season, I kept thinking that there's no way they'd be able to find themselves at this point in the season. So that's a part of one of the things we just talked about in our last little video on the channel, with the Raiders being a team that should keep their head coach, even though he's an interim head coach for the time being, because I think he's just outperformed what our expectations were entirely. Also, I really don't think this roster is crazy talented, and I think they absolutely outperform what their talent is. On the other side, however, I also think the Bengals have a roster that's outperforming their talent as well. They do have the main positions on lock, basically, in terms
Mm.
of the big three that you think of immediately: quarterback, running back, receiver on offense. You know, the guys that get the ball and touch the ball the entire game. Obviously, those are great for them. But the Bengals still have an absolutely atrocious O-line, which everybody seems to be passing up. However, I think that now it's been a full regular season worth of games. So what I'll call a full season's worth of games. Um, we can say that even though we were suspect on the Jamar Chase pick, not because of the player, because boy, he's looking like he was the best player in the draft at this point. We're just still worried
Mm.
about getting Joe Burrow some protection. And if they see a downfall in this postseason, I would say it could be because of that. On the other side of the ball, though, I've just been really surprised with their defense all season. Besides Jesse Bates the third, and then the guys they have rushing the passer from the edge position, it, there are not many guys on the defensive side of the ball that are just like, oh yeah, him. I'm just like, it's just a defense almost like the Colts. They have a few more, like three guys that are named, but just I don't feel like they have a ton of talent for what they actually get done on the defensive side of the ball. So from that regard, the offensive line being weak, and just the defense in general not having a ton of talent, I thought would be enough to hold this team back this season. But boy, when you have a player playing at the level of Joe Burrow and having connections like Jamar Chase, they basically seem unstoppable, like you said. And I think I know where I'm going with my pick, but I'll give you first goes here.
Uh,
Actually, I know where I'm going with my pick in this game, regardless of what you say.
so I just something else with this game is like you said, the lack of O line play, and Riley Reef, he's been on IR for a while. For the Bengals, so they're gonna have backups in there, backups on an already bad O line with Max Crosby, who's just been feasting all season. And though the sack numbers aren't like as high as they really should be, because he is just creating tons and tons of pressures every game. He's gonna get to Joe Burrow a couple times, and with an O line that's allowing 3 sacks a game, I wouldn't be surprised if Max Crosby single handedly by himself gets three, with Yannick Ngakwe and the other guys on that line getting a couple in there too. So that could be what hampers the Bengals, but that, like you said, that defense has been very good for like the lack of names that are on there, especially the secondary, and they have the guys to shut down Darren Waller, and that's really what you got to do. Like Darren Waller, Chidobe Awuzie has been playing really good. He's earned like a lot of money, just with how well he's played this season. So he can take out Zay Jones or whoever is going to be the number one receiver for them, whether it's Brian Edwards or Zay Jones or Deshaun Jackson. Uh, but and Tyler Shelton, of course. With my pick, I'm taking the Bengals in this one just because of how hot they are, and I don't really want to pick against the team that has just been like scorch earthing teams for the past couple of weeks heading into the playoffs. The Raiders, though, I can't say I'll be surprised if the Raiders win.
I'd be hard pressed at this point to pick any team going into Cincinnati and beating them. The Raiders, especially being a team that basically just snuck in at the tail end of Sunday Night Football. Um, I I'm just not trusting them yet, and I am going to go with Cincinnati as well because Joe Burrow is out of his mind, honestly. And it basically is as simple as that because he's the whole reason the team has outperformed all season, in my opinion, along with just some decent defensive play when I didn't even think that was to be expected from this team.
Mm-hmm.
So, you all set on that matchup?
Yeah, I think we can cut this here.